Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home Pilates for Glutes workout. In today's routine, we're going to be sculpting our glutes, lifting our bums, and building muscle and definition from all angles. I'm going to be using a set of ankle weights for the exercises in this routine. However, you can do the entire workout weightless and you're still going to feel the burn and get great results. We're going to start off with a warm-up and finish with a cool down. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to place my weights to the side of the mat and we're going to start off down on the side body to mobilize the hips. So I'm lowering down, supporting my head on my hands. I'm stacking the hips, knees, and ankles, bringing the feet slightly forward so that I'm in a pike position. From here, we're going to circle the leg back. Nice big circles. 1, 2, lengthen through the toes. 3 and 4, mobilizing the hip joint, and last 1. Now we're going to circle forward for 5, really lengthening through the big toe, mobilizing that hip, stretching and lengthening. Nicely done. And let's do one more. Amazing. Now from here, I'm going to come into an all fours position. I'm going to extend that top leg out behind. I'm going to bend the knee in and then lift up with a pointed toe. Hips are square with the mat. Bend and lift. So we're just gently starting to wake up those glutes, squeezing the bum with every lift, plugging the navel in toward the spine, and pulsing that big toe up toward the ceiling. I want you to keep your tailbone tucked here so you're not overarching in the spine as you lift that leg. Really concentrating on the hamstrings and the glutes doing the work to get that lift. Last one here. Now we're going to extend the leg out long, bend it in and extend it out long. I want you to contract all the muscles in the leg as you extend that big toe out behind you, really pointing hard through the toes. Plug belly in toward the spine and get into that Pilates breath. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, extend the leg long. Let's go 3. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen the leg for 2. And final 1. Lower the knee down to the mat and we're going to warm up the other side. So coming down onto your side body, lengthening through those legs, stacking hips, knees, and ankles, bringing the feet forward on the mat, and circling backwards. Ooh, I need a little bit more room behind me. Good, there we go. 2, lengthen out through that big toe. 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Really lubricating the hip joint now as we come forward, stretching and lengthening the leg, warming up the muscles. And last one, and lower down. Amazing. Now moving into that all fours position, bringing the knee in and then lifting. Wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. Slow and controlled, focusing on squeezing those glutes with every lift. Nicely done. Good. Squeeze and lift. Lengthen. Keep the gaze down on the mat. Mind-muscle connection with those glutes as we warm up this side. And last one. And now we're lowering down and extending. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend and lengthen. Good job. Keep the hips square with the mat here. Breathing deeply in through the nose and slowly exhale through pursed lips as you engage the core. Shoulders are broad. Good work. We've got 3 and 2. Lengthen out through the toes. And last 1. Amazing work. Now I'm going to put my ankle weights on and I'm going to keep them on for the rest of the workout. If you've got ankle weights and it gets to be too much at any point or you're losing that good form, I'd like you to remove them and carry on with the work weightless. So we're going to be moving down onto the mat in just a moment. Good. Let's lay down on our stomachs. Lengthen the legs out on the mat. Take them about shoulder distance apart here. You can rest your forehead on your arms like so, or down on the mat if that's more comfortable for you. I'm going to keep my head up so that you can hear me clearly. Make sure your shoulders are down away from your ears. Your spine is nice and long and extended. We're going to start on this right side. We're going to lift the right leg and lower. Lift and lower. So every time you lift the leg, I want you to breathe out. Toes are pointed here. And really squeeze the glute. Good. We're also contracting the quad muscles here to get that lift. Keep the quads switched on throughout the entire range of movement. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Now, sticking on that right side, we're going to lift the leg, flex the foot, bend, and hover the leg up off the mat. So bringing the heel toward the bum, keeping the legs slightly elevated by contracting those quads, really pulling the heel back toward the bum. Nice work. We've got 4. Keep those hamstrings contracted. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. We're going to hold here. Heel is facing up toward the ceiling, and we're just going to pulse. Little pulses with a bent leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Squeeze for 10 and hold. Lift, lift, lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg down. Amazing work. Okay, moving over to that left side, lifting and lowering that left leg, pointing through the toes, switching on the thigh muscles and the glutes as you lift and lower that leg with control. Focus on those glutes doing the work. Focus on those quads. Barely let your leg touch down. Pretty much just to hover before you lift that leg right back up. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Flex the foot. Heel to bum. Keep lengthening through that spine. Keep those shoulders down away from your ears. The upper leg is hovering up off the mat if you can manage that. Pulling heel in, contracting the hamstrings, squeezing the glutes for 5, 4, 3. You can do it. I know it's tough. 2, and 1. Hold with the bend and pulse. 10, 9, 8. Pressing that heel up toward the ceiling. 6, 5, 4. Ooh, it burns. 3. Keep it up. 2, and 1. We're going to hold at the top of the lift for 5, 4, 3. Lift a little higher if you can. And 1. Relax it down. Ooh, nice work. Okay. From here, we're going to come up onto our hands, and we're going to position the palms so that they are below the shoulders and the knees are below the hips. From here, I'm just going to drop my left forearm down to the floor so it's parallel with the top of the mat, and we're going to start off by doing some circles. We're going to circle that knee backwards, lifting the knee up, and as you do so, squeezing the side booty. Plugging navel in toward the spine, drawing nice big circles in the air with that right knee. Try to get the knee up and around, squeezing the side booty with every circle. Good. Circling backwards for 3 and 2. Make sure your neck is long here, and 1. Now we're going to circle forward. Lift that knee up. Get as much mobility in the hip as you can, focusing on those glutes doing the work to get that knee up and over. We're plugging the belly in and keeping those shoulders down away from the ears. 2, and last 1. Now we're going to circle forward and extend. Circle forward and extend. So bend, circle down, and extend up. Bend, circle down, and extend up. Nice work. Good, keep circling and extending. Notice I'm moving really slowly here. I'm getting a full extension before I go back into that circle, squeezing the side booty, flexing those thighs, and contracting that core. 2, and last 1, extend and hold. From here, flex the foot. Keep the leg out on a diagonal, pull belly to spine, bend and kick out on a diagonal. Bend the knee and kick it out, good. Bend and drive through the heel. Again, relax those shoulders, nice long neck here. Nice work for 5, kick out through that heel. 4, give it a lot of length and power. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna hold it there with a flexed foot and pulse up for 10. 9, nice slow pulses. 8, squeezing the side booty. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top of the lift. Hold, hold, hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And lower the leg down. Amazing work. Now we're going to come down onto our forearms, bringing the elbows below the shoulders, lengthening through the spine. The knees are below the hips. We're going to switch sides, so we're going to switch over to our left side. We're going to bend the knee, bringing the heel toward the bum, and then lift, extend, bend to a right angle, lower, just hover the knee above the mat. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Good. Lift, extend, bend, lower, just hover. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. So I want you to really be focusing on your gluteus maximus muscles doing the work here. Lifting, lengthening, bending, and lowering. Squeeze the bum at the top of that lift. Good. 3, and lower. 2, and lower. And last 1, and lower. Good. Now lower the knee, flex the foot, and we're going to drive up. Bend, lift and extend. Bend, lift, extend. Good. Really pushing out through that heel. With every extension, we're plugging the belly in toward the spine. Make sure those shoulders are away from the ears, the neck is long, and the gaze is down on the mat. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top of the lift and point the toe. Lengthen through the spine. We're going to do horizontal lines here. So we're just going from side to side with that leg. Imagine your big toe like a pencil in the air, drawing a horizontal line back and forth. Now we're really challenging ourselves by not letting our hips sway from side to side. We're keeping the spine long and neutral. Isolating this work in the lower body. Keep that leg elevated. I know these are tough. You can do it. We've got 4, 3, squeeze the booty, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, lower an inch, and lift. Slow pulses. You've got this. Poking a hole in the ceiling with your big toe for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Final push here on this left side, coming up onto the palms. Little pulses now. Little controlled pulses. Plug belly in toward the spine. Broaden across those shoulders. Pulse it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. And lower the knee down to the mat. Oh my gosh, that was challenging. I'd like you to keep your hips elevated. Take your knees nice and wide, big toes together, and sink down into puppy pose. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lengthening through the spine and regulating the breath. Whew, that was tough. Okay, now we've got to do the other side. Yikes. We're doing good work though. Okay, so from here, We're in our all fours position. The wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. We're now going to drop that right forearm down to the mat. And from here, we're going to start drawing those circles backwards with the knee. So we're lifting that knee up and circling it backwards. Toes are pointed. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Picking that knee up and circling it back. For 2, lengthen through the neck, plug belly in, and 1. Now we're circling forwards. Drawing nice big circles in the air as we focus on those medius muscles. Good. Last 2. And final 1. Now we're circling around and extending. Circling around and extending on a diagonal. Good. 3, 4. Get as much length as possible here. 5 more to go. Abs are working here too. Obliques fired up. Last 3. And 2, and final 1. Hold it there, flex the foot, knee in and extend. Bring it in and extend. Really drive through that heel on the diagonal. Bend and extend, lengthen through the neck. We've got 4, give it power. 3, 2, and final 1. We're holding at the top, lengthening, 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 and pulsing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lift an inch higher, lift, 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 and then lower the knee down. Amazing work. And now we're switching our focus over onto the opposite side. Sorry, that was the left leg that was working. So I'm coming down onto my forearms. Elbows are below the shoulders, knees below the hips. I'm bending that right leg, and then I'm lifting, extending, bending to right angle, lower, just hover. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. So we're now focusing our attention to onto those right glutes. Lengthening through the spine, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth as you contract those hamstrings and squeeze the booty at the top of every lift. Gotta breathe through this. I know it's really challenging, but you're doing so well, and you're gonna feel great after completing this routine. Targeting the glutes from every angle. Super effective. Last one. And bring it in, flex the foot, and then extend. Bend, just hover the knee and extend. Driving out through that heel. Nice work. Abs are engaged, spine is nice and long, shoulders are relaxed. Let's go. 3, 2, kick it out with energy, and 1. Point the toe. We're gonna move from side to side. Those diagonal, or rather horizontal lines. Using your toe like a pencil in the air, keeping that leg elevated, squeezing those right glutes the entire time. Don't worry if your line isn't perfectly straight. It might be a little bit wobbly, but that's okay as long as you're getting that side to side motion without sort of letting your torso sway around with you. Oh my gosh, these are tough. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, and 1. Hold in the center, lower and lift. Lower and lift. Slow pulses up, bringing that big toe toward the ceiling. 6, 5, squeeze the booty. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Come up onto those palms. Little quick pulses here, broadening across the shoulders, pushing the mat away. Abs are engaged. Lift, 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 lift for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold, 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 and lower the knee down. Ooh, this time let's go into a regular child's pose. And I just need a moment here. Maybe you do too. Let's take some deep breaths. Breathing deeply in through the nose and slowly exhaling through the mouth as we lengthen through the spine and stretch those hips for 3 and 2 and 1. Whew, we did it. Okay, so now we just have our bridge work and then a stretch. So I'd like you to come down onto your back. Roll down one vertebra at a time, relaxing head, neck, and shoulders down on the floor. Whew, I'm so sweaty. So from here, we want our heels below our knees. We're going to take our arms down on either side of the body, nice strong arms, backs of arms pressing down onto the floor. We're gonna tilt the pelvis back, flattening the low back onto the mat, and then peel up into a bridge position. So I want you to really plug your navel in, tuck your tailbone, and make sure those hips are elevated. We're gonna go into some alternating knees in for a march. So we're lifting the right leg and lowering, lifting the left leg and lowering. So your challenge here as you move through this exercise is to keep your hips level. So you don't want one hip lowering to the side as you lift alternate legs. So keep those hips lifted and level. Good work. Focusing on the back body here, focusing on that core engagement for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Now we're going to bring the arms overhead and we're going to transfer weight to the left heel, lift the right heel up off the mat, bringing the hand toward the knee, tapping toes down to the mat. Good. Keep that left side nice and strong, pressing up through the heel. Good. Abs engaged, lifting and lowering that leg. Good. Hips are level for 2. And final 1, lower down. Stabilize yourself, transfer the majority of the weight to the right heel, lift the left heel up off the mat, switching sides. Inhale to lower the toe to the mat, exhale to lift. Keep those hips elevated. 6, 5, driving up through right heel. 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. We're going to lower down just for a moment and bring the knees in toward the chest. Let's just take a bit of a breather before we move into our final few exercises in bridge. Nearly at the finish line. Okay, from here, I'm going to lift myself up. I'm going to bring the arms overhead and I'm going to cross my right leg over my left. Now from here, I'm going to lower the hips so they're just about hovering above the floor and then lift, bring the arms by the side. Lower and lift. Make sure that left heel is below the left knee. You're pressing up through that left heel with every lift. Abs engage as we breathe out and lift those hips. Not so high as to overextend your low back. You want to keep that tailbone tucked. Squeeze the glutes to lift. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Switch the crossing of your legs. Bring your arms back, lower your hips, and lift. Lower and lift. Powering up through that right heel. You've got this. Core engaged. Push up. For 5, 4, lift. 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up and put both feet down on the floor, both arms down on the floor. Lift up onto your toes. Tailbone is tucked, and we're just pulsing the knees out. Pulsing, 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 squeezing the side booty as you work the thighs and the glutes here. Little pulses. Keep those hips elevated. Core is engaged. Keep pulsing. Strengthening the calves here too. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down. Lower the bum down rather. Bring the knees in toward the chest. Right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee, and circle the knees in opposite directions. We have just completed the hard part of the workout. Now all we have left to do is stretch. It's gonna feel really good. Massage your low back on the mat and bring your knees back to parallel. Roll up into a seated position, and let's just remove the ankle weights if you're wearing them. We don't need them anymore, thank goodness. Okay, from here we're gonna lower back down to the mat, and we're going to cross the left leg over the right, interlace the fingers, take them behind the right thigh, and just hug that right knee in toward the chest. Keeping the tailbone in contact with the mat so you can really stretch out your lower back here as well. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hug that knee in a little bit closer towards you, enjoying the stretch, the opening in the hip and the stretching of the glutes. For 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Switch the crossing of your legs, bringing opposite knee in, hugging it in close while keeping your tailbone in contact with the mat. So you're stretching your low back, you're stretching your hips, and you're lengthening through the glutes. Breathing deeply. Hug that knee in a little bit closer towards you if that feels good. For 3, and 2, and 1. Bring your legs to parallel, hands behind the thighs. Roll yourself up. And from here, we're gonna bring the feet together, hinge from the hip, and just stretch out through those inner thighs. Sitting up nice and tall, hinging, lengthening through the spine. Butterfly those knees down a little bit closer to the mat if you can to deepen that stretch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift yourself up to a seated position, turning and facing me. We're gonna lift our shoulders up and roll them down and back for 2, and 1. Then we're going to extend the left leg out long, bringing the right foot in toward the inner thigh. Reach the arms up and fold over into a side body stretch, keeping the right bum cheek down on the floor, pulling the toes back toward the shins so that you can feel the stretch running all the way up the back of the leg. Stretching out those hamstrings and calves, stretching and lengthening through your torso as well. For 3, and 2, and 1. Bring yourself up, switch legs, lift up, find length, and fold over. Ooh, this side feels tighter than the other. Sometimes you notice those imbalances when you are stretching, so I'm really going to lean deep into it. Feels really good. Pulling those toes back toward the shin, feeling the stretch running all the way up the back of the leg. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return to your seated position. Whew, very sweaty. And let's just roll out the shoulders twice more, melting away any tension. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that routine. It was definitely challenging, but we targeted our glutes so well, so you should feel proud of yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to moving again with you next time. Bye.